Hey guys, this is my Advice for Young Artists series, episode 1. I'm going to try to give some value to those who are watching my channel who may be interested in pursuing an art career, because I've been a freelancer for about 30 years, so I have some experience in this. These videos are going to be a little longer, a little more rambly, probably because of my age. I'm going to try to keep it interesting by sharing with you some of the things that I'm working on in my studio in real time, so that you have something visually interesting to look at while I share some wisdom with you. My first piece of advice is learn to listen to people that have gotten into the industries that you want to get into and have proven themselves in that industry. First question is, why should you even listen to me at all? I've been a lifelong artist. I didn't go to a fancy art school. I've been able to achieve 3 of my career dreams. One was working in the makeup effects industry in Hollywood. The other one was becoming a storyboard artist. The third one was breaking into the toy industry. I've also worked in many disciplines of art, from traditional medium to digital, and I've managed to provide for a family of 6 for the past 18 years. One of the things that I think is unique about my art journey is I started in a small town. I ended up getting into digital art when it was really early. I was using an Amiga 2000 and there was no internet, so there's that. I ended up driving out cross country with a buddy of mine, breaking into the makeup effects industry in Hollywood. I moved into storyboarding, and then after 2 years of storyboarding, I got into the toy industry, where I've been working for many companies for the past 18 years. And one of the things that I can tell you from going from where I shared with you where I started to where I am today, it's a very unpredictable journey. I didn't mention all the other little routes that I went in order to end up in each industry. So it's very unpredictable. It's not like I can give you step A, B, and C, and you're going to end up here, because the nature of art is it's very hard to survive as a professional artist. In fact, I looked up a statistic a little while ago. It said 85% of artists make less than $25,000 a year. 10% make between $25,000 and $100,000. 4% make between $100,000 and $1 million. That's a big range, by the way. And only 1% of artists actually make over $1 million. If those stats are correct, it is very hard to even survive in that 10% range of making enough income to support yourself and then to support a family. Here are 3 things that I want you to take away from this video. One is, you have to ask yourself, what are your goals? I think when you're younger, you do art because you enjoy doing it, and you're not really thinking so much about how do I become a comic book artist or a storyboard artist or a concept artist or something like that. I think you just create art because you enjoy doing it. And I think that's good when you're young, to just explore, try those different art techniques, art styles, mediums, whatever it is, because you're just enjoying creating, you're enjoying making things, and you're learning things. Once you start getting that under your belt, I think in those high school years, you're exploring. You really need to start thinking about your goal of what you want to be. You have to think of, what do I want to be when I grow up? You have to figure out that career path, and then you're going to be able to gear what you're learning to reaching that goal. So one of the things you tend to do is you become a jack of all trades, a master of none.
I do oil painting, and I do, paper mache.
What I've learned is people that are hiring you want to know you're good at the thing that you're presenting yourself as. Pick the goal, learn the techniques, and then you'll be able to gear the samples to getting that work. All right, here's the second point.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
It's not the years, it's the mileage. Indiana Jones got it right. I actually taught a visual storytelling class a few years ago at a local kind of an art design center. I only had a really small class. It was between like 6 and 8 students, which was great because I was able to focus on those students. One of the questions that I asked the students was, I asked them, how many hours are you drawing a week? Most of the students said 1 to 2 hours. And I remember one student said that she drew for about 5 hours a week. And that was about the highest in the class. What you have to understand is when you are competing against other professionals, these guys are drawing between 8, 10, and 12 hours a day. So in any given week, those guys are working between 40 and 60 hours a week, and they're exponentially getting better at their craft. And in fact, I didn't even really feel like I started learning to draw until I worked in storyboarding, where I had to draw for 8 to 10 hours solid. That's when I really felt like my learning curve was growing. So that's that. It's not the years, it's the mileage. How many hours are you clocking? So it's quantity time. The third thing I want you to take away from this video is it can be done. Even though that journey is unpredictable and there's a lot of work that needs to be put into it, you can actually make a living as an artist. Some of the things that helped me to survive as a full-time artist was finding the industry that I was a good fit for. So a lot of times I would try different industries, but my skill set was not a good match for them. Once I got into the toy industry, it really was, there's like a moment where you realize, hey,
I think I'm really geared towards this thing.
so whatever industry you're trying to get into, once you have a good match of your skill set, what you love to do, what you love to create with that industry, you can do well in it. Hopefully you got some value from this. If so, hit the like button, and I plan to come out with more of these videos. So stay tuned for Advice for Young Artists, episode 2.